people, welcome to the Fearless Summit 2024 studio. I have an extraordinary woman next to me. I don't know if you're all ready. She is a network pastor. She is an author of 3 books and she's working on her 4th book. She's a phenomenal speaker and a great woman of God. I'm talking about none other than Pastor B3 from Worship Harvest. Woo!
You are too kind.
I hope you're ululating and you're excited where you are. Pastor B3, it's amazing to see you.
Thank you.
And the session that you've just had was impactful. But before we get into that, I want to ask her a few questions, either or questions.
Ask.
So, heels or flats?
Heels, any day.
Any day.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're a heels kind of girl. But it's also because you're like 5.
Of course.
You're 5. Are you like 5'3" or 5'2"?
I'm not revealing my height.
She's a short girl.
Yes,
so heels
very.
are her friend. If you would pick a dessert, would it be savory or sweet?
Dessert?
Yes,
Sweet.
sweet dessert. So are you a chocolate, ice cream kind of girl?
Yes.
Okay. The last either or, if your husband was to take you on a romantic getaway,
Do it, Lord.
should do it for her and do it for me as well. Would it be a beach destination or would it be a bush destination?
Oh, beach, please.
Anytime.
No bushes.
I agree with you. High five on that. I'm also a beach kind of girl. Pastor B3, you are a phenomenal woman of God.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, you do not bear the stature. No offense. She is as petite but as powerful as you see her. How have you been able to navigate leadership as a woman with all the complexities that leadership have? And we know you, we love you, we honor you, so there's something you're doing right. Tell us, give us the scoop, give us the secret for all of us women who want to be you.
Wow, you know, it's very interesting. When you ask that question, I realize that I don't think of myself as a woman. Can you imagine? I don't think of myself as a short and small. Like in my mind,
Wow.
it's like that doesn't exist.
It doesn't occur to you.
It really doesn't. Like until someone says it, when they say, how have you been able to lead as a woman? I'm like, how do women lead? What are the... And it's not that it's devoid of challenges. I know I have had people who have challenged me because you're a woman, you shouldn't do this. But it's like when I hear them speak, I don't relate with what they're saying. I think I've been very blessed to be under a leader from the time I started leading at a certain level. I've led under Apostle Moses, who has so many strong women around him. He has raised strong women. And so I've been in good company. I've not felt like I'm in a man's world that's so dominated until I step out into other church spaces. Wow. Then I find men, but I don't think of myself, because when we are dealing at leadership conversation, Apostle doesn't deal with you as a woman. It doesn't matter if you have a 2-day-old baby. He's dealing with you as a leader. He's having very logical conversations with you. He's asking you to take on what men take on. So I think he has done it in a way that I've never had him say, no, the ladies won't be able to do that. Wow. Or the lady. So I think he's done something to us, because when we get into a room with men, for us, we are level at that point. Yeah, the thing of my stature, I actually think is an advantage. I like being underestimated. It's one of the best things. Every time I walk into a room, I've been called maybe to train there. They're like, where is Pastor Beatrice? I'm like, it's me. And you see the disappointment on their faces. Like, this little girl, why would they send her?
Yeah.
And then when I'm able to do what I've done, by the time I'm done, they're like,
now we see.
You know what? You seem to be more mature or whatever, but I love it because every time I walk in, I see the disappointment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's nice, because even though I don't overperform, they'll still be like, she tried. She shouldn't have been able. But genuinely, I think for ladies, I would say, refuse the stereotype. I think that there's stereotype out there about women, but I think it becomes a challenge when you embrace it as true. When you start saying, I'm a woman, I think they're going to think this about me. Or I'm a woman, I shouldn't be able to do that. I'm a woman, I think is to say there's neither male nor female, slave nor free. We're all children of God. God has given us equal opportunity, equal share, whether it's a man or a woman in the ministry or in business or wherever. We can actually ride the tide, and don't think of yourself as a woman. Think of yourself as a person, as a leader, and do what you have to do.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Pastor B3, you've just gotten off the stage and you've had this very potent discussion about discipleship and family. It feels like a natural thing to do here, cognitively.
Yeah.
But there's almost like a disconnect. It's almost, where has this truth been hiding?
I know.
Where has it been hiding? Like, what can you tell people about your own discipleship journey, your own following journey, and how you would urge them to embrace it, as we have seen you speak up on stage?
Yeah. I think that all of us belong to a natural family.
Yes.
It might be, all of us have some form of dysfunction in our family, some more than others.
True.
There's no perfect family. I think that once we realize that God is actually also trying to create spiritual faith families, we will approach church not as an event that we go to once or twice a week, because that's the approach. You come to church, there's distance, we are a crowd. I don't know you, don't know me. I'm here to consume spiritual goods. I'm not here to relate, to connect, to have family. Then what happens? That's why we are struggling, because you're thinking how we've known church is the event we go to. And I come, I dress nice, I put on a facade, no one needs to know what I'm going through. I show up in my best, look pretty, look handsome, sit down, listen to the message, maybe feel inspired, go away. If I don't come back next Sunday, no one knows. I might walk home, I might not have food at home. It's this very hypocritical, detached thing. And I think we built that because that's not the church that Jesus Christ built. The moment the church began, the first thing you know is people coming into community, selling everything they have. No one had need. They're in each other's business. They're giving up everything and getting together to build spiritual families. And I think the church is the answer of God to orphanhood, to loneliness, to brokenness, which is so big in the world. And what is broken in our natural families, God can fix in the spiritual family and redeem, right? You find that there's so much I've learned. Almost 80% of everything I am now is because of my spiritual family. My natural family did a good job. But there's so many gaps and things they're not able to do that have come in because of the spiritual family, because the spiritual family is getting resource from God. So, but then I would say, embrace it as a family. In the beginning, it's going to feel like you're forging, because any new relationship, like if you and I started a relationship, it will feel like at the beginning we are putting our best foot forward. But if we stuck with a rhythm of getting to know each other, within a few months, would be so comfortable, would be so natural, and we would look forward to being with each other and we start sharing deeper and deeper. But I think our problem is when you start thinking about where you are now in the relationship. I've just met a pastor, I'm hearing people calling him Papa. I'm not here for this stuff. It's easier to have distance, but you're not going to get anything out of distance as much as you get out of relationships. So I would say to the person who's going to church, determine in your heart to be part of a family. Then go through the discomfort of forming family. There is a much better reward there than going to an event once a week.
That's true. I love that. We have just begun Fearless 2024. We've just done our first sessions. What are you hearing? What are you taking home with you?
Both Pastor Emma and Pastor Lincoln, I think for me it's follow hard. Follow hard. Like, you cannot say that you are part of a spiritual family if there's no one you're following. Everyone is leading, everyone is following. But I think there's profound things that both of them said about the fact that it's not the preaching that's going to change your life. The real change is going to come in the relational space of church. If you want to see transformation, get into a relationship. Have someone over you who can ask you, where are your savings after they've preached about money? How much money are you making? How much debt do you have? How is your marriage going? Why are you not married yet? What's going on with your health? I think you've put on a little bit more weight than you should. No one is actually having these conversations with us. But if you're not following anyone and giving them permission to speak into your life, the permission must be there. And then you can't progress. So for me, I think that's what the thing that's on my heart is follow harder. That's what the great people in the Bible did. When he said, Pastor Lincoln talked about how it was the best statement that any young Jewish man would hear would be the words, follow me. And I'm like, can you imagine? That means that if someone asks me to follow them, it's like the best deal of my life. But that's not how I see it, as control, opportunity, manipulation. I can't breathe. The devil has perverted the very thing that God has given us to change our lives, and the very thing people don't want is to follow anyone. Meaning we cannot become anything great. We will only become who we follow. So for me, the thing that's boiling in my heart is creating those families and following harder myself as a follower, and then teaching following. Because if I don't, these people will never experience the greatest privilege that people were. Now I understood why they gave up everything immediately, because they had been waiting for someone to say to them, follow me. Like, it's a privilege. I never thought of it that way. I thought it's a hassle. It's something we have to do as Christians. But actually, it's like when God loves you, he sends someone to say, follow me. And when you follow them, your life cannot remain the same. So that's what is really bubbling in my heart right now.
Wow, thank you so much, Pastor B3. She's a healed girl.
And
she's saying the devil has perverted a very potent thing that we can use for the furtherance of the kingdoms, which is following.
Yes.
Awesome. High five.
Thank
Great.
you.